Greetings, Culturians, and welcome back. It seems that the Senate doesn't believe we need public broadcasting anymore, and you know what? I don't think so either. I think we should never have a propagandist network, especially once the Smith-Mundt Act was radically changed by the Obama administration and allows for them to say a lot of incredibly radical political statements and push a lot of radical propositions. What the future holds for public broadcasting is anybody's guess, but I think we're going to run out of it quickly, and I think that's a good thing. But let's talk about it. Here we go. So our friends over at Deadline want to keep us all informed, and so do I. I want to keep you informed on a daily basis, so double check you're still subscribed to the channel, and go ahead and leave me a comment on this video right now, or in the next couple of minutes, because comments matter, as does pressing the like button, and just make sure all the notifications are turned on so you don't miss anything. My job is to keep you entertained and informed, and so let's get to it. Deadline from Ted Johnson says that the Senate votes to cut federal funding to public broadcasting. Against the will of the American people, says the PBS CEO, and she's a liar, because we watched her lie in front of Congress for, hours on end, it felt like, and embarrassingly so. Regardless, let's take a look at this story that in a vote on early Thursday, at a 51-48 vote total, with a bunch of turncoats such as Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, and obviously all the independents and Democrats losing, the cuts are for rescissions. And if you're watching this after this bill has already passed, well, that's good news. We're really close to being able to rescind a lot of frivolous and corrupt spending that we never should have had in the first place. A $9 billion rescissions package is just what the doctor ordered, times about 20. Or maybe more. This vote also included the slashing of foreign aid and some health programs, and that's being misstated and mischaracterized by the powers that be, because they don't want you to know that the people that are losing those benefits are the people who shouldn't be here in the first place. But let's talk about that another time. The funding for public media had already been allocated for the next 2 fiscal years, so cost savings immediately. Public media also facing funding battles throughout its history, dating back to the 1960s, because even back then we were starting to see that the red thread could utilize public broadcasting as a way to drive its message home, which is a real problem. They've beat back efforts like this before when bipartisan support came through in Congress, but right now there's really a lot of people on the wrong side of an 80-20 issue. This time around, of course, Trump has threatened to withhold support and endorsements for any lawmaker who doesn't vote for the cuts, as he has attacked PBS and NPR for alleged left-wing bias. It's not alleged, it's fairly obvious, and the liar that runs PBS currently has been caught telling those same lies and being at odds with her words, with her simple-minded policies. Of course, Deadline sees this in one particular shade, saying it's just his latest effort to try and undermine media outlets for coverage he dislikes. You mean lies and misinformation? Yeah, I think he probably doesn't like that. And neither do Americans, by just the lack of volume of audience that any of these outlets have. People advocating for public broadcasting to stay afloat with this funding that supposedly covers the next 2 fiscal years are saying that if federal funding is eliminated, its stations, including those in rural areas and markets that apparently don't know how to use the internet, will face the greatest crisis as they rely more heavily on funding from Corporation for Public Broadcasting. The CPB is the entity set up by Congress to distribute grants to public media outlets, and they shouldn't be around either. The elimination of the federal funding will decimate it, and local public stations will definitely be at risk of going dark, cutting off service to communities that rely on them and have never heard of the internet or a cell phone, many of which have no other access to locally controlled media, meaning our controlled media we control. which is a big problem if you're a propagandist. Turncoat Mitch actually turned around on this one and decided to vote for the bill because he would have looked terribly bad, and anybody that he endorsed for the future occupancy of his office would definitely not be relied on as a candidate anybody could trust. Oh, Mitch, you are destroying your legacy, yourself, and probably the person that you were trying to endorse next time around. Russell Vought notified everybody, he's the White House director of OMB, told reporters Thursday that more rescission packages are to come, a follow-up to all the lovely Doge revelations that pointed out the immense corruption and fraud that has been our federal government for so many years now. He stated, "We wanted to see how the vote was going to go. It was really important for it to be successful. We are on the 1 yard line in the House. We need to get that across the 1 yard line. The critical votes in the Senate, well, we feel very, very pleased with the passage of the Senate bill. Our enthusiasm, the president's enthusiasm, to send additional packages, we are watching closely about that first vote. And I think it's likely you'll see an additional package. Well, for our sake, I hope we see many, many of them." The comments coming through on Deadline are exactly what you expect and are, well, pretty much aligned with the extreme blue side of the equation. And that makes me kind of sad because it indicates to me that you have a captured audience in the 19 blocks and at Penske Media that are totally fine with things going to heck in a handbasket. What about you? That's right. It's audience participation time. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Do you think we should maintain the folly that is the public broadcasting bologna sausage? Or do you think it's about time we got rid of this one-sided propagandist mouthpiece that we somehow use our tax dollars to pay for? Do you think that maybe we should go the extra mile and actually bring back the Smith-Mundt Act so that we can rely on what the media says because of what the government says and put the misinformation crew out of business? Do you think that quality television programming, like some people suggest Sesame Street still is, which to be fair, it isn't, needs to be supported by public money, or will some private organization take that over at long last and go with it? Because guess what? The Children's Television Workshop is already a private corporation. And finally, can you believe that your money has been wasted for this long on this slop? I can't. As always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya! But not on public broadcasting.